Are you guys struggling to attract qualified leads for your cleaning business? There's a few things you could do to sort of negate all the tire kickers and price shoppers, and that's what we're gonna go over. Now, before we discuss how to increase the lead quality for your advertising, I wanna make two very important prefaces. One of those prefaces is that generating bad quality leads is just an inevitable part of the advertising process. You could have the most professional ads in the world, and you're always gonna run into some portion of those leads just being bad quality. It's just part of the game, and the biggest companies in the world, they realize this and they still scale with it regardless. So that's one important preface. The other one is to really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, do you actually have a lead quality issue? A lot of people wanna add all these qualifiers and negate a bunch of traffic to just try and go after the cream of the crop. But if you're, let's say, a newer company or somebody who has to fill your cleaner schedules ASAP, I would rather you guys focus on quantity over quality, because you want to try and get as many at-bats as possible, and you shouldn't be trying to overcomplicate your advertising process quite yet, because by adding these qualifiers, you are going to sacrifice some volume of leads to an extent. So now that we got it out of the way, let's move into some actionable steps that you guys can follow to improve lead quality. And all of these things I'm about to share with you are things that we're actually doing with our clients here at Celebrity Maid. So these are time-proven strategies and what we're seeing work well. So the first qualifier is going to be income targeting. Now, different platforms like Google, Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, etc., they let you target people based on very specific interests, hobbies, maybe subscriptions or music tastes. But one of these things is actually going to be income percentiles. Yes, you can target people that are in a certain bracket of how much money they make based on their geographical location. And it's no surprise that people that have higher income or live in higher income families have more spending power. So you can refine your advertising to only show in front of these people, and that alone will most likely get you in front of more qualified people. Now, in addition to targeting income brackets, you can also target by zip codes. So if you have specific zip codes or neighborhoods in your area that you know have a lot more affluent people, it might be worthwhile targeting those zip codes. Now, keep in mind that when you are targeting these higher income people, other advertisers know about this too, and there's going to be more competition for those areas or for those qualifiers. So expect to pay a little bit more sometimes when you're doing these targeting tactics. Now, number two is going to be your opt-in process. How easy is it for a cold visitor to become a lead? Meaning, what steps, what barriers do they have to jump through before they can speak to you on the phone and schedule their cleaning? So let's say on this end of the spectrum, you're running a Facebook Messenger campaign where someone sees your ad, they click on that button to send you a message, and as soon as that conversation starts, they're a lead. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, maybe you have a landing page that you're sending your traffic to, and there's a very complicated form or survey that asks, let's say, 20 questions, and then at the end, they have to submit their credit card information to prepay ahead of time. Those are two very different processes that someone would have to jump through to become a lead. And you'll know that more leads are going to opt into the first option, which is great if you're trying to go after volume, but this option is going to be better if you're trying to go after lead quality, because you know that if someone's making it to the end of that form, they're going to be pretty qualified. Now, ideally, you want to be somewhere in the middle. You don't want to make it too easy for leads to come in if you are running into lead quality issues, of course, but you also don't want to make it too complicated and too aggressive for someone to, request a quote, unless you're in that position where you're willing to turn away, 90+% of traffic. So qualifier number three is going to be the nature of your offer. Adjusting your offer on your advertising is one of the main levers that you can pull to immediately change lead quality, either in your favor or against you. So if you're running an offer that's providing a free cleaning or like a $19 cleaning or some very discounted service, yes, by nature, you're going to attract a lot more leads, get more clicks, more traffic, but is that really what you want? Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of cleaning businesses that follow this model successfully and they still remain very profitable, but that's because they usually have a very tight back-end system and they're willing to lose money on the front end to acquire that client because they can bring them up the value ladder later down the line and make their money on the back end. This is a more complicated model. That's the only way that these businesses are able to grow. If you're like 99% of the people and you're just trying to make a profit this week and be able to pay your cleaners and leave money in your pocket, you would be better off going for a more traditional model where you're maybe not discounting your services or offering a $19 cleaning, but you're still making it very attractive and unique for a visitor to book with your company versus any other cleaning company in the neighborhood. So this video is not going to be about offers. I have another video which I'll link right here if you want to check out how to craft your offer without discounting your service and still making it very enticing. So number 4, this is going to be content. Guys, in this day and age, you have no excuse to not be making content, specifically video and photo content. Let's say you have 2 ads right here. They have identical ad copy, identical headlines, identical descriptions, an identical offer, except one over here is just like a stock image of a cleaner, and the other one is a video that you were able to capture on your actual phone or your cleaner's phone. I'm going to bet 10 times out of 10 that the authentic video that you captured will outperform the stock image right here. And that's because people want to connect with the business before they do business with them. Video is an awesome way to establish that know, like, and trust factor with your potential customers ahead of time. And if you're wondering some different types of examples you can do, just simple first-person cleaning videos or third-person cleaning videos, maybe how-to DIY content that explains who you are, gets people to know a little bit about your cleaners and perhaps some of their clients as well. You could even do simple content with your cleaners holding a client's pet, for example. All of these are content examples that we're using in our campaigns right now that we've seen crush it. And I know that you guys could do the same too if you just put in a little bit of that effort ahead of time to get these awesome photos and videos for your company. And investing into content will also help your organic growth, because now when you post these photos and videos onto your social media channels, whether it's Google My Business, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, you're going to get business, maybe not today, but 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 2 years from now, from a lot of this traffic that you're paying your hard-earned money to acquire, where they might not opt in through your forum right away, but they will follow your page and become and enter into what's called a social funnel, So the more that you can indoctrinate them into your brand with these repeated posts, the more likely they will be to buy from you in the future. And that leads me to point number 5, which is going to be the last point about how you can pre-qualify your leads, and that is going to be with your messaging. So your messaging on your actual ads, in your emails, on your website, anywhere that you're promoting your business, whether that's written or video, is how do you speak to your customer? And is that messaging ideal to who your ideal avatar is? And you want to speak to that avatar as clearly as possible, because if someone's hearing that messaging and they know that it fits them well, they're going to be much more likely to resonate with it. And that alone is going to mean they're much more likely to become a customer. So think about your ideal avatar with spending power, or who's qualified. Let's pretend that it's someone who has a spouse who's a busy professional, they have a newborn and some pets. Let's say those are kind of like the main points. And let's say that you're constructing an ad. That ad might read something like, tired of arguing with your spouse over whose turn it is to clean the paw prints off the kitchen floor? Let's face it, you're too busy to clean. That was a very simple one-liner or two-line for an ad, but we touched on all those specific points about what traits that avatar might have. If a working spouse with pets and kids hears that ad, they're gonna say, oh wow, that sounds just like me. This company gets me. And then guess what? People pay more for specialists versus generalists, because now that you called out that person, they're going to be much more likely to spend probably a higher amount because they see you as the specialized cleaning company. Now, what's great about this is you can also use messaging to disqualify unqualified leads. So let's say that you're getting a lot of leads that are just price shopping you, saying you're too expensive, whatever. In your ad or your email or your website, wherever you're promoting your business, you can actually address that ahead of time and say, tired of being promised a quality clean for a discounted rate. If you'd rather pay to get the job done right the first time, we can help you out. So in that example, we're addressing the cheap price objection and using that in our ad to explain to these folks that, hey, if that's what you're looking for, we're not your company, but if you'd rather pay more to get it done right, then give us a call. And that's more likely to attract higher quality leads versus the lower quality leads. So guys, those are my 5 best pre-qualifying marketing tactics that you could start using in your advertising to attract higher quality leads. And just remember that getting some bad quality leads is always going to be inevitable. And this is a numbers game after all. So don't get discouraged if you find out that 50%, 70% of your leads are just not converting, totally normal. And the most successful cleaning businesses that we're working with understand this and are experiencing the same type of thing. Hopefully you liked this video. Make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys for the next one.